We've got a few things to talk about today with Silent Hill 2 getting a release date according to Amazon. Obviously, we're going to dive deeper into that and see what that means. We're also going to be talking about Deviation Games, an update there about some employees leaving there and going to work for PlayStation Studios, which is a little bit perplexing just given the situation. And we're also going to be talking about what happened with Insomniac Games earlier today. It was like about midnight, I think, when everything went down. We're not going to be talking about the actual contents of any leaks. I'm not going to be supporting these things because this was not a normal leak. This is not something that is coming by the way of some information that's being shared. This is a company getting hacked, getting their data stolen, and then blackmailing the company, which is just unacceptable. So I'm definitely not going to be supporting any of those leaks, and we're not going to be talking about any of that, but rather I have some comments to make about the general situation. Now, before we jump into all of this, if you guys could do me a huge favor and hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and share the video to keep the community informed. Now, let's talk about Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 Remake is apparently going to be released on February 29th, 2024 for PS5. And that's according to Amazon, and it looks like this could just be a placeholder, which is what I think it is. But some people have taken this to mean that it is the actual release date. I don't think that that's the case. Obviously, we see placeholders all the time in the industry, especially when we're looking at Q1, Q2, 3, and 4, and depending on the company's whatever their date falls under, at least on their financials, we'll see them take place accordingly. Now, in this case specifically, I just don't think we're going to get a release date in February when we've had one trailer with no time frame, no nothing. We haven't heard anything outside of that trailer. I mean, there have been some slight comments here and there, but we have no clue whether this is actually a product that's ready to go. And as far as I know, this product is not ready to go, and I wouldn't assume that it is. And I also don't think that they would release it in February when they have competing titles. This is going to be a PC, PS5 exclusive. It doesn't make sense for them to go ahead and put Rebirth on the same exact day. It would be absolutely crazy to have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the 29th, and then on top of that, you also have Silent Hill 2 Remake on the 29th, and it's supposed to be like a PS5 exclusive. Obviously, there's some PC exclusivity too on the Silent Hill side of things, but let's be honest, most of those copies are selling on the PS5, so it'd be very odd for them to do that, and that's why I just think that won't happen. That definitely will not happen. At least I don't think it will, so I would leave it at that. I mean, definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments if you think that is the case or not, but I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys make of this. Next, we're talking about Jason Blundell, who is a Call of Duty veteran, and he was the co-founder of Deviation Games, and he had left the company, and it seems he has now joined PlayStation Studios. Yes, he left a studio that he founded and was contracted by, or had an agreement or something with PlayStation to go and work for PlayStation directly. That is very, very peculiar. I'm not sure why, but we'll find out soon enough why that was the case. And on top of that, we had a JC, who was a Deviation community manager, who was also affected by the layoffs, now working for Sony. And he states in a tweet, job update, I've been wanting to say this for a while, but now I finally can. I'm a junior game designer at PlayStation Studios, and I work for Jason Blundell. So it looks like both of them left. Well, one of them got laid off. The co-founder just left Deviation, and they're both working for PlayStation. It's such a peculiar situation. I'm not really understanding what's going on here. Why is this the case? I would love to know what triggered this. I would love to know why they left like a studio well, one of them was laid off. But in terms of Jason Blundell, why he would leave a studio he co-founded and then go work for PlayStation when they were already being, they had some sort of agreement with PlayStation anyway. It's a very interesting situation that I can't wait to find out more about. Eventually, obviously, some of these things come to light, and I'm sure that soon enough we will hear about it. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this one too. Let me know what you guys think about this. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the Insomniac Games hack. So, if you didn't know, there was a group that, or a person, I don't know if it was a group or a person, that hacked Insomniac Games, took an absurd amount of data, stole an absurd amount of data, and they gave Insomniac Games and Sony 7 days to pay up. I think it was $2 million. The money is not the point, because they stole some data, they blackmailed them, They said, hey, if you don't give us this money, we're going to release this data. And obviously, in no situation does it make sense for them to give the money because this data is out there. Once it's out there, it's out there. And also, this is theft, right? And blackmail and all that stuff. So it makes no sense for them to play into that. So what happened is they just let it play out. And unfortunately, not only did employee information leak out, their confidential information, which is a nightmare for any person to go through. On top of that, also all their projects and what they have going on leaked, which we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that because I want to show respect to the company. But more so, I want to talk about how these things that occur, like especially with leaks like this, they're not a positive thing. Just like with GTA 6, it's not a positive thing when something like this leaks. It's not something that we should celebrate. It's not something that I personally want to see, because it is only harmful to, number one, the people that work at the company with their information out. Number two, all their hard work is being presented in a way that they don't intend for it to be presented, right? So it just doesn't make sense for anybody to really get excited about this kind of stuff. To me, this does not motivate me. This does not make me happy to look at these leaks. And I have not looked at these leaks, just through some tweets that I've seen of people posting things. And it really is upsetting, because these are studios that we appreciate, that we love to play their games, and we should not be celebrating harmful things to the teams, right? So, big difference I want to state is there's a difference between somebody getting hacked and doing, a ransomware situation and, stealing basically, to somebody sharing information that they know through another person that might work at a company, or somebody seeing something that they weren't supposed to see. These are very, very different. There's theft, and then there's information just leaking out normally. So oftentimes we talk about normal information that leaks out, which is okay. And then sometimes this kind of information that gets out through theft is not okay, and it's something we don't want to celebrate, and it's something that we don't want to discuss. So to me, these are the two biggest differences. We want to make sure that we aren't celebrating theft and hacking and all this stuff. This is just not it. Versus, hey, somebody heard something from somebody who works at the company. That is something we do usually cover. So just to be clear, because I know some people might say, well, you cover other leaks, but those are two very different instances. With that said, I support Insomniac, and I hope that they get back on their feet after all this. It's going to be tough. So much has come out, and so many details. It's a shame, and I feel for them, and I support them 100%. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments about this situation as well. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you did not enjoy the video, hit the dislike button. Subscribe if you're new, and share the video to keep the community informed. You can also follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description. I thank you all for watching. Take care.